Okay, so before we go into the next events, I just wanted to say that tomorrow, June 24th, the BGC turns 1 officially in terms of our events, right? Like we technically started in April, but our first event was on June 24th of 2020. Oh. So, in light of that celebration,
values to my worth. You know, I'm learning that, and it took me to get 55 to realize that. You know, I'm an old lady, but I get that now. So it's like when I pay it off, credit cards is going on the shelf.
More about myself and how I view myself in relation to myself than money has to do with any of it, you know, because money is the second. The real part is me. So if I'm not okay, of course my relationship with money is not gonna be okay. But also now learning to draw in on my energy and figure out what it is that I need for myself to move forward in a healthy relationship with money. So much love and so much realness in this space. I just thank you guys for being honest with yourselves and then also honest with everyone here because it's not easy to kind of come forward with our relationship about money because it is a very private relationship that we share with ourselves. Um, just as you said, Steph, you know, we have this constant internal dialogue that we don't necessarily address until it's time to address it.
Because I'm like Marizzi, I'm evolving. But I actually just started that journey here recently. When someone said to me, "Do you realize your worth is not equal to what's in your bank account?" You have
wherever you are right now, if it's possible, go ahead and put your feet on the ground in front of you. If it's not, just get as relaxed as you can in the space that you are. And just kind of roll those shoulders back. Bring them up to your ears and drop them down to your belly. And then maybe go the other direction. Yeah, get loose in there. And depending on if you want to take more energy in, you can go ahead and put your palms up and rest them on your thighs. Or if you need to be a little more grounded, go ahead and place some palm down on your thighs. Think about what you need. You can then either close your eyes or just take a sort of like glazed over kind of stare where you're not focusing on anything in particular. Slightly down, just so you can really be in this moment.
Marie says, I'm feeling stressed. And the big green there, the big green bold letters that say stress right across the middle of our beautiful bubble of words here is the overall theme that we're feeling around money.
Now, because I'm in so much debt, I haven't been late on a bill since 2005. But my debt ratio was so high because I wanted to, I guess when I think about it, I attach my worth to my material things. And I'm realizing I no longer have to do that.
We're going to take a few breaths in together and out. The whole time, I just want you to sort of take in whatever it is that you think you need right now and let out whatever you don't.
So, breathe, where we take collective space and time to breathe and release as a community. This is where we come to do that.
Yeah. Okay. So money, money, right? What feelings, thoughts, words come to mind when hearing the word money? Do you get excited? Do you get anxious, nauseated, happy, irritable, uncomfortable, dreamy? Now, it's natural to have thoughts about our thoughts, right? But try your very, very best to limit your judgment here and just notice what comes up when you hear the word money. Now, whatever comes up for you, start dropping it in the chat. Again, try your very best not to judge it. We just want to collect what comes up when you hear money, money, money. Go.
Marie Lewis says stomach pains, stomach nauseated, grind, stress. I said dreadful. Miss Tracy said grinding, stress. Marisby says guilt. Shanita says I could use some more. LOL. Rejni says anxious, nauseated, avoidance, shut down. Marie Lewis says sometimes fear, anxiety, sometimes comfort, power. Thirsty, LOL. Miss Sherelle said root of all evil, God, favor. Artificial source of suffering from Marie Lewis. Steph says God, absolutely. I agree with favor. Supply, security, secure. Tracy says stability. Shanita says, can you really ever have enough? Freedom. Or what really is enough? Mixed emotions, emotional period. Clones, class.
I noted in mine that my relationship with money is evolving because I'm transitioning. So is my relationship with money. So as I educate myself and become more mindful of money, and even I think my relationship with money changed once I started asking, why do I feel the way that I feel this way about money? Because it was often a negative connotation. And once I asked that question, then things kind of started to change a little bit, because I'm like, well, why would I have mistrust or these negative feelings if it's something that I want? This seems like a unhealthy, toxic relationship. So it's been something that I think I'm in money rehab, right? And I'm trying to figure out how to, navigate, but it's definitely, like I said, I noticed a big shift once my personal attitude changed, then so did my relationship with money. So I'm still working. Oh, Lord knows.
Education. Control. Reggie says control. B says power. Marie Lewis says distortion. Mm-hmm. Marisby says freedom. The ability to be free. Status. Doubt. Sherelle says comfort. That was really powerful. As one of the youngest members of the BGC, and also just honestly very grateful to be a part of something so beautiful as this. I very much so cherish each time I get to sit down with any of you women, and then to have a beautiful space with all of you women coming together and really questioning the things that I question about myself all the time. It really makes me understand that there's so much more to life than just being angry all the time, to be honest, because that's where I'm at. It was a lot of anger over here, guys. It was a lot of frustration, anger, whatever you want to call it. But I'm gonna read just a snippet of what I wrote, because I think it's so important to kind of speak on exactly what Reggie was talking about in terms of how money controls us and how someone can use money as a manipulation tool to either use it against us or use it to manipulate us. Sherry says option. Marie says access and opportunity. Insurance, protection. Says net. Protection. Marie says gatekeeping.
I'll just let you have a moment to look at the words that came up. The bigger words are words that came up more than once. The bigger they are, the more times they came up. in the chat, and the smaller they are, the less times they came up. Take that, however, or well, actually, I think it repeated the ones that came up more than once. Yeah. So just take a moment, take it in. Feel free to drop more words in the chat if they come to you.
Fleeting. Cause of jealousy, says Gyrl. The shadow is an unconscious aspect of the personality that the conscious ego does not identify in its conscious state. When digging up roots, we confront and fully embrace our shadows. The work is to own these shadows as parts as they have also led you to who you are today. In this series of the BGC series that we are currently involved in, we specifically explore texts are engaging with our subconscious, with the safety of our community as a place to breathe. Breathe it all in. Breathe it all out. In our particular selves and together. So as we stand here in our moment together, and just as earlier, Steph had us take 3 collective breaths together and release those breaths together, we are all here in this space right now, and we are moving forward as one.
So one perspective on money is represented in today's text, and we thought it was worthwhile to watch as a community and breathe through it. Today's text is entitled Knowing Your Worth by Iyanla Van Sant. Okay, so we're gonna move right into our literacy moment, which is our 5-minute prompt. If you know BGC, you know that we love to find the 5-minute prompt. The 5-minute prompt is the prompt that we use to prompt deeper conversations and exploration verbally and in writing. Tap into the text, in this case, videos, and then let it flow. No editing, no thinking. Feel your way through this and release. In the next 5 minutes, you can respond on paper, reject, question, embrace, or some combination of these things. What comes up for you when you engage with today's text? And question, what is my relationship with money? Is this the relationship I desire?
But I was thinking about how the subject that we're talking about today is money. And I don't know if I can see this, but this is the book that I've been reading, and it's The Psychology of Money. And Stephanie was like, it's divine that I came on today. And I'm just like, listen to everything. And when she was speaking about how we buy our kids this and, buy everything for our kids, but really I'm struggling with having a spoiled daughter, buying her everything and not setting her up for like a better future, or getting her interested in stocks instead of always trying to make sure she have everything that she need or whatever. But this was definitely, I'm really glad that I came to this.
I'm so glad, Maristy, that you used that word evolving, because I feel like that was the thing I was looking for. My whole life, money has been used as a means of control, right? Like, I pay for you, I do this, so you need to do what I want you to do. So it's a very deep thing for me. And it's also like contrary to what I believe in myself. So there was always that conflict. So I wrote just random things. So I'm gonna read it. Money, allowed to be the cause of physical and emotional discomfort, allowed to shame, given the freedom and power to judge and control. But there is a higher power that doesn't care. When you have it, you don't. When you don't have it, you do. Desire, lust makes nice faces turn scary and cruel, makes monsters out of people, reveals hidden desires one would never say. Once money walks in the room, all bets are off, all niceties are gone. Smiling faces turn to evil sneers. Let me get my hands on it before you do. Even those who have enough can never have enough. My higher power knows it's not all there is, and I'm glad I have enough. I'm grateful I have enough. Even when I didn't have enough, I had what I needed to survive because I have myself.
Mute and snap up, if you will. Thank you.
I think the relationship that I have with money is also evolving and it's very deep. But mostly what I realized that when I write about for these money prompts is I reflect on myself. So this is a reflection of myself. It says, constantly angry because nobody showed me who I could be. Now it's my turn to see who I am. Who's standing right in front of me? Who do I see in the reflection of me? And that's the reality of it, you know. Thank you so much for sharing, Miss Shanita, because I don't mean to call you guys Miss or Ma'am. I don't know if you guys have preferred that in front of your title. But I've had so many beautiful conversations with individuals in this room, but also myself surrounding around money. And I always come back to the feeling of anger because I don't know how to handle money. I don't know what's the right way, what's the right thing to do with money? Is there a right thing to do with money? Is there a right way to handle money? How do I build my savings? How do I build my credit? What do I do if I want to get a car? How do I go about being a safe, smart spender? And I was never taught those things. So I always, when I'm writing about money, tend to reflect on myself. And so when you start asking questions about how not to, how give that to the next generation, I think it's important to understand that they will start asking those questions themselves. They will start asking, how do I take care of myself? How do I now step into the role of being the person who is my sole provider? And I think, and there will always be parents to be there, and some people do have that option, that lovely, lovely, beautiful option of having their parents be there to support them. And I'm not one of them, so I've had to learn on my own, and I have learned a lot. But I wish that if I had more guidance in the sense of what's the right things to do, how do you then create, like Ms. Cherie has said, generational wealth? Like, how do we then move forward into not only us learning better spending habits for ourselves, but then creating it for the future generations?
What you just said, Nia, just like brought something to mind, and I'm thinking in terms of just the American experience around that. So we'll talk about that after. I want to connect.
So I can identify with everything that's been said already. And it started off saying, this relationship evolving. Finally, I used to be out of integrity with money in a downright abusive relationship with money. Honey, I knew something her. And I knew I needed her and I hated her for it. I used to blame money for all of what I saw and did not see in my community. I used to envy how it freely came to some and seemingly jumped right over the heads of others. I used to be out of integrity with money, hoping for it, wishing for more, promising what I'd do and who'd I'd help with it each time I had even enough or just a little bit over what I needed to go to my bills, I would remember all those without, and then that guilt would set in. So I'd give and give and give and give and never actually address the underlying issues, the underlying ideas, the underlying talk I had about it being filthy and how I'd associated all things bad. So now I'm working on me. I'm turning on that and I'm working on this. And I'm slowly seeing this evolving door, this turning, this different relationship with money. It's not as toxic. It's not the greatest yet, but I'm on my way. And I'm really trying to internalize this idea of prosperity and worth, not in my head, because I got it up there, but in my heart and in my spirit, because I think that's where the misalignment still lies.
Cherie has said she agrees with Steph regarding overgiving and guilt. Marie says so much of that resonates with me too, Steph.
Um, I'm not really gonna share what I wrote. I just have something like on my heart with what Naya, I always say, Rama, she know that's my baby. I love her. But I think one of the first steps, and it's not anything that we're taught, and I kind of touched on it on my thing because I'm like Marizzi, I'm evolving. But I actually just started that journey here recently. When someone said to me, do you realize your worth is not equal to what's in your bank account? You have so much more to give and you're worth so much more. Like you can't put a price on that. And when that clicks in and you start realizing that, and that goes into what Ayana was talking about. Like my most abusive relationship is with money. That's what it was. Because it broke my self-esteem. It kept me feeling I was less than because of what I got in my pockets and my bank account. You know what I mean? And that's what that's what gets us to the place where we let those with money manipulate. Because what does that do? Our self-esteem. When you have a low self-esteem, anybody can do anything. If they can, they can manipulate you because they're gonna dangle it like you do a dog with the little stake or whatever, and he's gonna do whatever you want him to. Jump, sit down, roll over. He's gonna do it all. And so once we start changing our thought and our reflection of self, our reflection is going to change with that money. And then you'd be like, I can get my own. I don't need that. Like, I got it already. You just don't know it. That's that, y'all.
Thank you so much for sharing. You look amazing today, by the way.
Thank you. You do too, beautiful.
Thank you.
I don't know if I saw TT Sherelle, if she had her hand up. I think I saw her. I don't mean to put you on the spot if you didn't. I thought I saw you.
All right. Now, were you reading my expression, Missy? You know I'm bashful. But I was listening to what Tracy was saying, and this is so interesting to me that I'm here tonight on this topic because Stephanie, that's something that I'm working on. I'm 55 years old, and I've always been that girl that, I pay the cost to be the boss. I have a man not because I need him, but because I want him. I'm going to go out here and do what I got to do. Well, in doing that, I put myself in a great bit of debt. So now I'm sitting back looking, I'm not no better off doing that, but except for I'm in debt. So I do happen to have a loving husband, and I'm got plans of we're refinancing, and we're going to pay off my debt. Now, because I'm in so much debt, I haven't been late on a bill since 2005, but my debt ratio is so high because I wanted to. I guess when I think about it, I attach my worth to my material things. And I'm realizing I no longer have to do that. So my husband is like, instead of just because his credit is so good, they were telling him we can refinance and take her off, and then she'll still be an owner of the home, but I won't get credit for that, and our mortgage will go cheaper, but I won't be a part of that. So I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that, but I looked at my husband. But if you think that's best, and he says, well, no, I want to do what's best for you. So we're in that we're taking the extra money. We're going to pay off some of my debt. He says, because I can see you're doing better. And that made me feel good. I no longer feel like I have to buy everything that's out here. I don't attach my values to my worth. I'm learning that. And it took me to get 55 to realize that. I'm an old lady, but I get that now. So it's like when I pay it off, credit cards is going on the shelf. So it was just interesting to me tonight that this is the one. I've missed several. I love to attend. And I'm mostly just sitting quiet and I listen. But this one I really wanted to attend, and when I got here, because Stephanie, Tracy, those are my babies. Those are my two nieces, and they're my babies. They are my babies. But I wanted support. But I'm realizing this is more than support. This is helping me, because this is right in line and where I'm at in my life right now. This is my next step of maturity. Let go of some of those material things. We all need it, but we don't have to let it rule us. We don't have to feel down if we don't have. We got to have a certain amount to feel like, to be where we want to be. We don't have that. You do what you need to do, or whatever you can do comfortably to be happy, and that's what I've accepted now. So I just want to say thank you, ladies, because it's so interesting today. This is the one that I'm attending, because that's what I'm working on right now in my life, my next journey in life. So thank you, and thank you for reading my expressions.
Thank you. I'm in the chat. It's going off. I see. Yes. Yes. The universe works as it should. Mariz D said there's a reason we are all here tonight. Marie said, yes. Such power in that. Yes. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, ladies.
Me
For
too.
giving me this platform and this space to say it. Thank
Absolutely.
It really was something that came to mind was validation versus vilification, in terms of and how history, at least in like the African diaspora and slavery, how that experience has contributed to this lack of trust with money, because we've seen people with money destroy the world, use money to destroy the world, but then at the same time they're validated. But then when folks make it, they're vilified for not being, sticking to the, so it's almost like what do you like, something that the curse that keeps on cursing, or the gift that keeps on giving. I don't want to, if we, in their regard, because to them, it benefits the power structure when the people who are disempowered feel this way about money. Because, and they will do anything to get it, to have these labels that are European centered and created. It's so crazy. And so when I thought, as we were talking, I'm like, what? Because I have a lot of friends who are not African American or Black American, or not of here, my experience, and their relationship with money is different. And I'm wondering, and I'm like, there's a connotation that is energetically connected to money, and our experience is Black Americans, or folks who are Black in America, is impacted by that. And I can't prove that, but I do feel that the white people or the white cloud. I'm not gonna say white people. I'm gonna say the white cloud, because whiteness is not just limited to white people per se, but it's something that I think is very much like, yeah, they get rewarded, you go out and destroy people, and oh yeah, it's all good, but you get 2 cents and you over here deserve to die, so yes, that's it.
To go into it too, yeah, because I mean, even when you bring up race, period, there is also an erasure of white people without money, and there's something that is necessary in the dominant culture too. Like, there's a reason these nasty labels are given also. I mean, trash, you're talked about as thrown away. So like, yeah, I would love to talk about this in August.
Yes.
Rajni also said money has made her feel ashamed in the past, which I think that it kind of resonates through a lot of what we were speaking on tonight. Thank you so much for sharing your personal relationship with money right now, because there is a lot of things that are happening in this world. And, it could be easy to just go write it off like, well, this is the easier route to take, but you won't be involved. But it says so much about where you and your husband are, and how you're working together to get to a solid place for both of you, and I think that's something that you just have to know about yourself and your partner. And I think that it should make you feel good when someone tells you you're doing I see that you've changed. I see that you are working towards something different, because you don't want to be stuck in the same habits if you're trying. You want somebody to recognize within you that you are blossoming into something different. Um, Stephanie has been that guiding force for me since she's met me. It's since she's met me. So I've been blessed to have her in my life through a lot of different transitions, but more to it, as my mindset, as Marisby said, evolves around money and myself. I've learned more about myself and how I view myself in relation to myself than money has to do with any of it, because money is the second. The real part is me. So if I'm not okay, of course my relationship with money is not gonna be okay. And so I'm learning to not, like you said, get the new things on the block and not pay attention to what is making me feel included, I guess, around me with money, but also now learning to draw in on my energy and figure out what it is that I need for myself to move forward in a healthy relationship with money.
I hate to cut us, but we're at that point. Oh my goodness. I feel like we're going to have another talk on this. Would y'all want to have a continued breathe on this one instead of jumping to a new topic, maybe? That's nice. So I'll take it back to the group and the girls will decide collectively, but it sounds like we should have another conversation on this and another breathe.
So it was just interesting to me tonight that this is the one, I've missed several, I love to attend, and I'm mostly just sitting quiet and I listen. But this one I really wanted to attend, and when I got here, because Stephanie, Tracy, those are my babies. Those are my two nieces, and they're my babies. They are my babies. But I wanted support. But I'm realizing this is more than support. This is helping me, because this is right on line and where I'm at in my life right now. This is my next step of maturity. Let go of some of those material things. We all need it, but we don't have to let it rule us. We don't have to feel down if we don't have. We got to have a certain amount to feel like, to be where we want to be. We don't have that. You do what you need to do, or whatever you can do comfortably to be happy. And that's what I've accepted now. So I just want to say thank you, ladies, because it's so interesting today. This is the one that I'm attending, because that's what I'm working on right now in my life, my next journey in life. So thank you.
Yes, the universe works as it should. Mariz D said there's a reason we are all here tonight. Marie said yes, such power in that. Yes, thank you for sharing.
Thank you, ladies.
Me too.
Giving me this platform and this space to say it.
Thank you for giving all of the wisdom, the parts of you, because it really takes a lot to open up and share the things that y'all share in this space every time we get together, honestly. And we respect that and we really appreciate it. I love y'all.
Thank you guys so much for everything you've done and you continue to do through all of this beautiful conversations. I'm gonna turn it back over to Steph.
Thank you so much, Love Bug. You see why she's a new member of the BGC, y'all? Killing it. And y'all will meet might as well the next time around. Be well, be safe. We love you. And until next time.